Alice in Wonderland. Alice, a curious young girl, was daydreaming by the riverbank when a white rabbit in a waistcoat, checking a pocket watch, scurried past, muttering, "Oh dear, I shall be too late." Without a second thought, Alice followed the rabbit down a large rabbit hole. Down, down, down she fell, past floating teacups and strange pictures on the walls, wondering what sort of world she was tumbling into. Landing in a hall of doors, Alice found a tiny key for a tiny door, behind which was a beautiful garden, but she was too big to fit. After drinking from a bottle labeled "Drink Me," she shrank, but had left the key on the tall glass table. She wept in frustration, her tears forming a large puddle at her feet. As she shrank still smaller, she slipped and fell into the salty pool of her own tears. How queer, she thought, paddling along. Soon, she was joined by a mouse, who was also swimming for his life. They swam to shore together, both dripping and unhappy. On the shore, they met a dodo, a lory, and an eaglet. To get them all dry, the dodo proposed a caucus race, a race with no clear beginning or end, where everyone simply ran until they felt dry. After some time, the dodo declared the race over and that everyone had won. Soon, the white rabbit appeared again. Mistaking Alice for his housemaid, he ordered her to his cottage to fetch his gloves and fan. Inside, Alice found and drank another potion, growing so enormous that she became stuck, with one arm poking out a window and a foot stuck up the chimney. After eating a magical cake that made her small again, Alice escaped the cottage and ran into a dense wood. There she found a large mushroom, and sitting on top of it was a blue caterpillar, calmly smoking a long hookah pipe. "Who are you?" the caterpillar asked. Alice, unsure of who she was after so many changes, couldn't answer. Before leaving, the caterpillar advised her that one side of the mushroom would make her taller, and the other would make her shorter. Alice took a piece from each side. She soon came upon a small house, where a cook was making soup with far too much pepper, causing a duchess and a baby to sneeze violently. Alice watched in astonishment as the duchess roughly nursed the baby. The duchess thrust the baby into Alice's arms. To her surprise, the baby's face began to change, its nose becoming a snout and its ears growing long. It had turned into a pig. Alice set it down, and it trotted calmly into the woods, where she again met the Cheshire Cat. The cat directed her to the March Hare's house, where she stumbled upon a mad tea party with the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and a sleepy dormouse. They celebrated unbirthdays with riddles that had no answers and endless cups of tea. The March Hare and the dormouse added to the delightful chaos. "More tea?" asked the March Hare, dipping his watch into his cup. The Hatter explained he had quarreled with time, so it was now perpetually 6 o'clock. Leaving the party, Alice found a door in a tree that led back to the hall. This time she grabbed the key and, using her mushroom, shrank to the right size, and finally stepped into the beautiful garden. There, she saw playing card gardeners painting white roses red. Suddenly, the Queen of Hearts arrived with her court. A fearsome tyrant, she invited Alice to a bizarre game of croquet where live flamingos were used for mallets and hedgehogs for balls. "Off with her head," the queen shrieked at the slightest offense. The game was chaos, as the flamingo mallets kept looking up and the hedgehog balls kept unrolling and crawling away. Alice found the queen's rage more ridiculous than frightening. The queen then introduced Alice to a griffin, a creature with the head and wings of an eagle and the body of a lion. The griffin was tasked with taking Alice to meet the mock turtle. The mock turtle, who had the head of a calf and the body of a turtle, was weeping sadly by the sea. He and the griffin told Alice stories of their school under the sea and demonstrated a strange dance called the lobster quadrille. A cry in the distance announced that a trial was beginning. The griffin rushed Alice back to the court, where the Knave of Hearts was accused of stealing the queen's tarts. The King of Hearts presided as judge over a jury of clueless animals. During the nonsensical trial, Alice began to grow larger and larger. When she was called as a witness, She had grown to her full height. "You're nothing but a pack of cards," she declared boldly. "Off with her head," the queen shrieked. The whole court rose up and flew at her. But just as the cards were about to overwhelm her, Alice woke up on the riverbank. It had all been a curious dream. As she walked home, she smiled, for Wonderland would always be a part of her.